Hello and welcome once again to Mediciencia. The topic that I'm going to share with you right now is about sex or gender determination. How does a female child come about? How does a male child come about? How does a baby girl come about? How does a baby boy come about? When couples are producing, when man and woman unite to through, of course, sexual intercourse, eventual fertilization, what exactly happens? Who is responsible for the male child? Who is responsible for the female child? Now, this is a topic that is very, very sensitive and interesting at the same time. When you watch step by step and you understand what happens at the end of it all, you are going to judge yourself, especially if you're a man and you have judged and harassed and mistreated your wife because of maybe producing one gender. This is the time for you to apologize. If you have, after watching this video, my dear brothers, my dear fellow men worldwide who are following me and who follow me on this YouTube channel, after watching this video, and you know that you have ever harassed, you have ever tortured your wife for giving birth to a single sex, to maybe only males or only boys or girls, please, after watching this video, I beg you to apologize to the wife. So, my dear brothers and sisters, this has always been a topic, a hot topic, by the way, not only in our country but worldwide. Very many women have been divorced. Very many women have been battered. Very many women have been abandoned, and in our local language, you call it guharika, baraharitswe, meaning that their husbands abandoned them maybe because of only producing female gender, only girls, especially those ones who are produced in Africa. Those mothers, those women who have only produced children, those ones who have produced the girls only, they have suffered the most and innocently. Then also still in our Africa, on our African continent, those ones who have also produced many boys with no girl child have still equally suffered, and they are still suffering as I talk, as I share this video with you, as I share this information. Now, who is responsible for producing boys? In simple terms, both participate, but you are going to see who is responsible for the sex determination. It is a man. It is a man like me. It is a male. The husband, the man, is the one who determines the sex or gender of the resultant human being or of the resultant baby. Now let us go. The male sperms, in our language of science, in our language of biology, the male sperms are referred to as spermatozoa in plural. The male sperms or the seeds, in simple terms, they are referred to as the spermatozoa. The males, with the men, you have the testes, or the testicles, the way you would like to call them. I don't want to use that language which the world might call obscene. The orchids, the tests, you know, those the borrows for us men. You know, a normal man, of course, every normal man should have two. We are born with two tests. But of course, there are some who are born with the one, maybe one where one fails to descend, during that period of testicular descent towards the birth. You know what happens when one fails to descend, that person becomes a monochick. When both fail to descend, of course, it means the person, we shall say that he has the cryptorchidism or cryptochidism. Both tests were retained. Now, what happens is the factor of our seeds, the factor of our gametes as males, the factory of our spermatozoa. When it is one, it is a spermatozoon. When there are many, there are the spermatozoa. So our factories, our tests are the factories. In other words, they are the factories of the seeds. And those sperms, like I've said, they are the male sperms or the spermatozoa or the gametes are the seeds in this case. So every man produces two categories of sperms. These sperms or the seeds or the gametes are given letters, that is X and Y. In the language of genetics, they are given Y, X and Y. So for us males, we produce two categories of sperms. X is the one that determines the male gender genetically, the normal male gender. The normal male gender should be XY genetically. Then the female gender or the female sex should be XX genetically. The normal female gender or the normal woman genetically should be XX according to the language of genetics. Then male, for us males or men, we are XY. Now, that is how for us that is how we end up, of course, producing two categories of sperms. Then when you look at our tests and you further narrow the topic to the sperm cells or to the spermatozoa themselves, you are going to see that we have both types, X and Y. We have Y carrying sperms and X carrying sperms in our tests or in our factories being nurtured and groomed. Now, and again, it's not like this. Many people think that when a male has one testis, it means that male is going to be fathering only maybe boys or only girls. No, it's not like that. In both tests, you are going to find a mixture of X carrying sperms and Y carrying sperms. I hope we are together. So in both tests, both male tests, you are going to find a mixture of Y carrying sperms that are carrying Y chromosomes, and also sperms that are carrying X chromosomes, both mixed up, and in both tests, meaning that a male with only one testis is able to still produce both sexes, both girls and females. I mean, both girls and boys. That is what it means. So when a male has only one testis, it doesn't mean that he or she that he is going to produce one sex. No, he's going to produce both, because both tests are actually balanced, and they produce actually equal amounts of sperms, of course, in millions and millions of sperms per day. Then, now let me shift the focus or my attention. Let us shift our attention and our focus to the female, or to our mothers, to the women. Women have their seeds. Their seeds are not called the sperms, but they are called the ova. When it is one egg, or the ova are also known as an egg. The ova are also known as eggs. If it is one, it is an ovum. When there are many, they are ova. OVU, ova, when there are many. Or you can collectively call them eggs. Now, where are those eggs produced from? The female eggs or the ovum, the ova are produced within the factories that we call ovaries. They also, females also have how many ovaries? They have two. They're in a pair, like on both. There's the left one and the right one. So those are the two factories which are called ovaries. Within the ovaries, it's where the ova or the female eggs or the female sperms, in simple language for you, are produced from. Now this is what happens. For female carrying, for the ovum, for the ova or an ovum is eggs carrying. All the ova or the female eggs are eggs carrying. They carry X chromosomes only. Meaning, if I meet my wife and I release, of course, I release by in each ejaculum, I'm going to release millions of sperm cells. And if it so happens, and the X carrying chromosome, if it so happens that the X carrying sperm fertilizes the female, the ovum, which is the egg, that is carrying X, it means it's going to be XX, and the resultant offspring is going to become a girl. Then, if it so happens that I release sperms in millions and they compete, of course, and the fastest, the one which reaches the egg, is maybe Y carrying, it is a Y carrying sperm or a spermatozoon that is carrying a Y chromosome, and it is able, and if it happens and it fertilizes that egg, it means, remember I've told you that all the female eggs are XX, they are X's. So that X, my Y, is going to meet the ovum, which is X, to form what we call XY, and the resultant offspring or the pregnancy will be a boy. So this is what it means. It is we males who determine the sex or the gender of a human being. It is we males who determine the subsequent gender, the subsequent sex of a child. If I give a Y carrying sperm to and it fuses with that ovum, we are going to get a baby boy. If I donate or if I give the one carrying the sperm carrying an X and meets the ovum, which is uniform X, it is going to become XX, which is a girl child. Therefore, it is a man. It is we males, not females. It is we males, it is we men who determine the subsequent gender or the sex or the next sex of a child, not a woman, not a female. A female has never been the determinant of the sex of a child. It is a male. It is a man. Therefore, my dear brothers and sisters, this is actually, it hurts so much. It hurts so much that worldwide, they not only in Africa, but even in Indian culture, in Arabic culture, everywhere, you find that females, women being harassed for producing only girls, for producing only boys, that I'm going to divorce her, she's useless, she cannot produce for me a baby boy, she's useless. It is we men who determine sex of our children. It is women who determine the gender of our babies. So me genetically, I'm a man. It means my genes, I have XY. I'm XY genetically in my genome. It means when you analyze my bones, everything, it means genetically, the bones show the DNA within my bones, within my teeth, within my skin cells, within my liver. They are showing that I'm a male. Genetically, XY. Then a female, it will be the other way also, it will be XX. So it is a male who determines the sex of a child, not a woman. It has never been a woman, and a woman will never be. So, of course, I know many men, of course, many fellow men are always disgruntled. They even develop self-hate that, oh my God, what did I do to you? Why haven't I got this sex, this gender that I want? But of course, me, of course, according to my beliefs, I will not say that maybe IVF, in vitro fertilization. Of course, people have used the in vitro fertilization to get the type of sex they want. Others resort to some methods. I don't know whether they work. There's what we call Dr. Sheto's random method, whereby they say that but short-lived. Then when it comes to eggs are big in size, but usually persevere and they live longer compared to the Y carrying sperms. So others talk about the acidity of the reproductive canal vis-a-vis the alkalinity of the reproductive canal. That acidity that eggs carrying tend to persevere. Eggs carrying sperms tend to persevere in acidic environments, whereas the other Y carrying tend to persevere in alkaline environments. But all those, I don't have enough data. I can't deceive you that I have proved. Maybe each and maybe we shall keep on researching until we get the actual scientific truth in that information. But my dear brothers and sisters, my dear brothers, my dear fathers, my dear uncles, my dear friends, wherever you are, irrespective of your level of education, if you know that you have harassed and mistreated and divorced your wife because of maybe giving birth to only one sex, this is the time for you to humble yourself and go and apologize to her. If it means kneeling, you should do so. You should do so. In our local language, in our culture, there's what we call ichiru. Uzamuhe ichiru. Look for something that will maybe act as a fine that you present to her. If she accepts, we call it ichiru, so that she forgives you. In my culture, that's what we call it ichiru. So please, if you know that you are still harassing your wife, and it is even unfortunate that a few months ago, actually late last year, there is there was somewhere, I don't want to mention the village and the district and the sub county. There is a lawyer. Imagine a land pharaoh who battered the wife because of only giving birth to girls. It was very, very unfortunate. If you can, my dear friend, my dear counsel, wherever you are, if you can watch this video, I beg you, I kindly request you that you apologize to your wife, and actually for she forgives you when you get this information, because it is we men who determine the gender, the sex of the child. My dear brothers and sisters, as you watch and listen to this video and you digest and assimilate this information, I beg you that you don't forget to hit the subscription button to Medicentia. Thank you very much. We link up in the next video as we shall be sharing the limitless knowledge. Have a good evening.